So Dana White was filmed slapping his wife on the face during an altercation at a nightclub where they went to celebrate the start of the new year. Now, how will this affect the big boss man himself, as well as the organization he represents, the UFC? Let's talk about it. Before we do, my name is Rahul J. Chand. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. So look, man, we've all seen it. We've all seen the video. He's been caught red-handed slapping his wife. Now, in any normal situation where the leader of an organization the size of the UFC, with the responsibility that Dana White has and the public profile that Dana White has, 9 times out of 10, that person doing something as egregious as this would be relieved of his duties. Now, the UFC is a unique organization. So the question is, will this video get Dana White cancelled? Now, to me personally, it just feels as though they are in a mode of damage control. Because when I saw this video, so the way I saw this, right, is Ariel Helwani tweeted something random, probably about darts or American football, nothing to do with MMA. And I saw someone responded to that tweet just with a link to the TMZ article. And I saw that. I thought, hold on a minute. Wait, is this some... At first I thought, is this a troll job? Or is this like fake news? Or is this really, really old or something? I clicked on it and I watched it and I thought, bloody hell, why isn't this trending? Why aren't people talking about this? Maybe it was just like fresh, hot off the press and it hadn't had time to circulate properly. But the article itself just showed me that they were trying to control damage, because you see the video of Dana White hitting his missus. You scroll down, and then you see an interview that TMZ did with Dana White. And when I watched that interview, I thought to myself, you guys really aren't trying to hide what you're trying to do here, right? Because it's obvious that Dana White has a good relationship with TMZ. I've seen popping up on my YouTube for years now, Dana White doing like these video calls with TMZ, these quick 1-2 minute interviews and interacting with that outlet. So when I saw them interviewing him, I thought to myself, blimey, you guys are literally you're colluding with Dana White to stop this story from getting as big as possible. The conversation they had was, it was like they were blaming on the alcohol. Like there was no kind of responsibility, let me rephrase that, because Dana White did say, I was in the wrong, I shouldn't have done it. That's the bottom line. To be fair, the interviews were trying to blame it on the alcohol, and Dana White was the one that was saying, no, actually it was my fault, I shouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean? So it just felt too contrived to me, the way that was just rolled out. Because from my experience, and I'm no expert, so correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, usually what you see is footage of a celebrity in a compromising position or a situation, and then a day or two later or whatever, you see a response from the celebrity where they put out a tweet or one of them kind of screenshots of a notepad where they kind of write out this long response, or a video or an interview where they address whatever situation they've been in. I've never seen the video and then in the same space the response together. I've never seen that before. But it might be something that happens, and I'm just not, I'm not really a very, very much of a TMZ kind of guy, to be honest. Now, as I said, you can tell that they're in this kind of mode of damage control. But it's like, it's a difficult one, right? Because I think that there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things working in Dana White's favor. Firstly, you've got the fact that his wife is the one that got violent first. So the slap was a response to a slap. It wasn't just someone hitting their wife unprovoked or during an argument, right? So they've got that to kind of hang on. But I feel like that's a kind of a thin thread to try to kind of use as your kind of leverage point, right? Another thing that they have is the fact that Dana White has got a track record of being quite relaxed when it comes to athletes that fight for his organization being involved in these kind of situations. John Jones recently, when he got arrested for domestic violence, Dana White's attitude towards that was, it's nothing to do with the UFC. It's a legal matter. We'll let the law decide how they wish to punish Jon Jones, but the UFC won't be punishing him. So if that was something that happened and Dana White was out in the public saying that, no, this is wrong, it shouldn't have happened, this guy deserves a lengthy ban, or I'm gonna cancel his contract, or whatever, right? His relaxed attitude might come back to help him now, because it's not like a case of one rule for them and one rule for me. He's already implemented a rule for his athletes that will work favorably for him in this situation. Now, obviously, Dana White isn't a fighter. He's a promoter. He's the leader of an organization that is worth billions of dollars, right? This is a corporation now. It's not just a small family-run kind of fight promotion. So it's just a case of now all of the partners that are involved. You've got, ESPN, Disney. You've got the Ari Emanuel and his kind of organization, WMC or whatever they're called. Quite a powerful outfit in kind of media and in the States, sorry. Like, these are all people that he's got to respond to. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're involved in this effort to damage control everything. And one of the things that I kind of struggle with is Dana White has got this, he's got this persona of being someone that tackles things head on, and he's happy to talk about anything, and he's always in the public eye, and he doesn't run away from anything. But the problem is, the people that he talks to, the people that are allowed to interview him, are all scared of him. They're all people that are scared of having access to Dana White, and by proxy the UFC revoked, so they don't challenge him on situations. They don't press him on situations, and they allow him to just get away with saying things that might not be factually correct, right? They might just be Dana White's opinion, and when there is a fair rebuttal to something that Dana White said, they feel kind of apprehensive about kind of sharing that opinion with Dana White because of the repercussions that might come off the back of it, right? So if Dana White was to kind of sit down with someone for a conversation about what happened, like, I don't know who it would be. It would need to be a news outlet that hasn't really got a stake in needing to cover the UFC or access to the UFC, etc., etc. But then, look, I don't know where this goes. Like, I don't know where this goes, because I've said on this channel before, like, I hate the idea of people getting cancelled. I hate the idea of people getting cancelled. Like I said, like, True Geordie shouldn't be cancelled for making a racist joke. I said Bryce Mitchell shouldn't be cancelled for sharing controversial political opinions. Like, I've made videos about these topics, and this is something that I hadn't really kind of considered in terms of Dana White hitting his missus. I hadn't really sat back and thought about, hold on a minute, she probably won't press charges, and he probably won't get punished, but something has happened that isn't quite right. So what should be the punishment for this? Should he just totally lose his job, his career, everything that he's worked for? Like, what is the right response to what happened? Do you know what I mean? I don't know the right answer to that. Like, for me personally, like, and this is just my opinion on the actual what we saw, the footage that we've got. To me, it looks as though Dana White was in the doghouse, just judging off of his body language, his facial expressions, his wife's body language. It looks as though he had done something to really piss her off, and she slapped him first. And his response to that slap, to me, and this is just my opinion, I'm going to clarify again, it felt like it was something out of a his response was out of embarrassment and an instant reaction. It wasn't something that it wasn't something that was out of pure anger and violence, if that makes sense, right? What it reminded me of is remember those like mafia movies from the 90s and late 80s, Goodfellas and stuff like that, Goodfellas and Godfather, etc. There was always a scene when the police were closing in, and there was cracks beginning to appear in the mafia, and just at the wrong moment, the guy's missus confronts him about cheating, and she might slap him, and then he'll give her a backhand slap back. Now, I'm not saying that the argument that they had was about anyone cheating, but it just reminded, like, that whole, watching that grainy footage, it reminded me of one of those instances in one of those mafia movies. I don't know why I was saying that, but yeah, that's that's what it reminded me of. Shouldn't laugh, it's not funny. But the point I'm trying to make is, I'm very aware that it sounds like I'm making excuses on behalf of Dana White by saying, oh, well, his wife hit him first, and I don't think he did it out of anger. It was more out of a response and embarrassment to being hit by his missus in public. And obviously there was alcohol involved, like they clearly kept saying in that TMZ article. But in the same breath, I'm going to say I don't feel as though there's any moment in life where it's acceptable to hit your missus, to hit a woman. And there should be repercussions for that. But what I'm telling you guys is just what I kind of gleaned from watching that. That's just the feeling that I got. There's been a lot of talk about Dana White and his personal life, fighters that he might have romantically been involved with, and things of that nature. I'm not here to speculate on all of that. I have no idea what kind of a relationship Dana White has with his wife. To be fair, this is the first time I've actually seen what his wife looks like. I've never seen any images of him with his wife or anything like that. It felt as though that kind of part of his life was kept very separate to the UFC and his public profile. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is to Dana White. I don't know what the right punishment is, if I'm honest with you. It's a sticky one. It's a sticky one. What I do know is why the fuck are two people that are over 50 going to a nightclub to celebrate New Year's? Like, I know you're rich, but there should be a retirement age for going to. When your kids get old enough to go to nightclubs, that is when you need to stop. That is when you need to stop going to nightclubs yourself. And Cabo, I don't even know we went to Cabo. It reminds me of a time in my life when I when I was unemployed, and I started watching The Hills. Hey, Aubrey and Brody, they're going Cabo for the weekend. And that's what Cabo is to me, where people from The Hills go. And obviously Dana White and his wife, where they get into physical fights in a public space. But yeah, what a way to start the new year. So clearly, I'm conflicted. I don't know what should be the right thing to do in this situation. I don't know whether Dana White loses his job. I don't know whether he goes on gardening leave, gets suspended for a little while. I don't know what the right response to this is. So share your opinions in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about anything that I've said in this video. Share your own opinion, something I might have just totally missed. Feel free to say it below as well. This story is obviously going to develop, and as it does, I'll probably be making more videos about it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. I'll catch you guys on the next one.